This is where the fun begins.
Good morning, everyone. This is OG Starwars, your Legends girl, trying to make it in this disc canon world. And I am so happy to be with you for the Thursday morning coffee chat. And I think I might be going solo today. I think my co-host is still sleeping, and we are like 9 hours, so he's 9 hours from me. And I know he gets some late hours in. So hopefully he's fine and he's resting well. And if he joins us, then he does. And I want to go ahead and just share this here. But first of all, again, the question is what is in your mug and what are you enjoying this morning? This is coffee here. And I have a little fun little insert eye roll here. And that's how I've been feeling this last week with a lot of things going on Twitter and stuff. So good morning, everyone. And let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and describe right here what I have on the screen here. And if you guys follow me on Twitter or Facebook, what have you, or even through my business, yoga business, I am running to represent the yoga or Veterans Yoga Project as their yoga warrior for 2021. And currently I'm in top 10 and I'm in second place right now. And so I would love it if you guys vote for me. You can vote for free or you can donate, either or. And I would appreciate it very much, your support and your help here. So I'm going to go ahead and switch screens here. Let's see here. And I'm going to, let's see here. Let me turn that off. All right, let's see who's here first. And so, hello, Lady Toriel. She's been here for a little while. Good morning, OG Stig and chat. I hope he's sleeping well. And then Snortopopus, I'm sorry if I butchered that. Hawu, humans, and other critters. Well, good morning. And then thank you again. Yeah, I'm going through midterms. Finals are coming up in another few weeks or 6 weeks or however that goes. I have my iced coffee and omnibus in hand. Awesome. I love to hear that. Love it, love it, love it. Let's see here. Okay. Get back to the right screen here. And then Miss Martin Muses, good morning. It's always lovely to have you here. And Zaggerot 315, howdy OG Star Wars and chat. Well, good morning. And then Max Anderson, hello fellow Earthlings. And Matt Wilkins, Stig, you look great this morning. Oh, wait, it's OG. Yeah, I might be flying solo today. So we shall see. I think he's still asleep. I think he needs his beauty sleep today or something. Yeah, so thank you guys for coming in. I'm going to go ahead and I did share the link and for that Yoga Warrior. I'm going to share it one more time and I'm going to switch screens and we're going to get going. So again, if you guys are just jumping in right now, tell me what you are enjoying at this fine. Well, for me, it's morning. I'm reading this right now. Stig needs lots of beauty sleep. Yes. Yes, I will miss him though with his funny puns and his witty humor and all that. So yeah, and if he joins us in mid of this, then that's cool as well. And then Keck44, howdy, hello. So here's the link. I shared the link for that. Vote for B. You can vote for free. You just got to log into your Facebook though. So that's the only thing you need to do. Or if you want to donate to the Veterans Yoga Project, which is a nonprofit and it helps veterans, have yoga or use yoga for, trauma or anything they faced during that time to help them, I guess you could say, find balance in their body and stuff. That's what yoga does. It doesn't even, it doesn't necessarily mean like the body. It also means the mind and the spirit as well. So I love yoga. I can rant about that, but we're not here. You guys aren't here to listen to me rant about yoga. So let's go ahead and put this up here. So we are reviewing Star Wars Republic number 70 and 71 Dreadnaughts of Rendili part 2 and 3. So I am excited to get this going with the story here. I have more people hopping in. Let's see here. Robert DaCosta, hello there. And what are you enjoying this morning? What is your beverage of choice? And Jefferson W, good morning all. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I am just enjoying my coffee. It's been a somewhat busy morning for me, but I'm here and I am happy to be with you guys. And no having an hour-long session this time. Some of the classes that I was in now have concluded as well, but there's 2 main classes that I have to finish to get my degree. So yes. And all right. So I know some of you guys may have this omnibus already. If you do, feel free to grab it. If not, you can follow along here. And because I am flying solo today, I won't be able to get to your comments as quickly as with Stig being with me here. So I apologize. I will come back and forth between screens and interact with you guys as well. All right, so let's get this started. Whoops, wrong one. All right. So here we go. So we have Ventress right here. This is the cover. I've always liked these covers here. We have Ventress on the Rancor and, Obi-Wan fleeing for his life right there. That's very dramatic right there. And we know from the past, comics, their, I guess you could say relationship, if you want to call it that, so. All right. So we have Quinlan right here, and Obi-Wan is basically being stalked by Ventress and stuff on the Rancor, and he is down crouching hiding, and he calls for Quinlan for assistance, and Quinlan responds here. We know that Obi-Wan still kind of has doubt, but he also has faith because the Force is letting him know that Quinlan his intent is good. I like this image right here. Kind of reminds me of Jurassic Park in a sense, because with and I forget the kids' names now. It's been a very long time since I watched that. How they crouch down in the kitchen, prep kitchen there, and they're hiding underneath the cabinets. This is what that reminds me of. So, and then we have, let me turn up my volume a little bit more if it's not turned up. Okay. And then we have on the next page here, of course, she's pursuing him as well. And she's playing mind tricks with him right here. So she's saying, you relying on Quinlan? No, he's on the dark side now. He's going to betray you. And, so she's putting that doubt in Quinlan and in Kenobi's head. And, we see that that's what they do. They do those mind tricks, or not mind tricks is like the Force or whatever, but they manipulate them with with their words and stuff. And we even see that with Luke in the movies, and how Sidious or Palpatine or Emperor talks to him, and Vader as well. And so she's basically saying you trust him, he's part of the dark side and he'll betray you, and he still puts his faith in Quinlan. So that's very interesting, very, very interesting. And then we have on the next page here, Ventress says, Jedi abandon each other. So this is what she's telling him. And so this is where they get more into this verbal mind play with each other. That they abandon each other like they abandoned her master. So she feels that, they abandoned her master, Kai Nari. And, Kobe reiterates that they thought that, Master Nari was dead. And then he kind of switches that mind play on her and, basically says, he wouldn't want you to be acting like this, blah, 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 blah. And this is not what he would want of you. And she's like, I don't care what he had, would have wanted. Basically, Dooku is her master. So I thought that was very much interesting as well. So let's see here. And we have Soul Assassin here. Good morning. Thank you for jumping in. And make sure to hit the like button. Yes, thank you so much. And Jurassic Park coffee chat. What? When? Yeah, that I know. I thought that was pretty interesting. Okay, let's see here. And then Thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate that. This is, to me, it's kind of different without Stig's energy here. You know, he does offer those little puns and stuff like that. So I hope he's sleeping well. So let's go on. All right. And then so now we are on the Tatavian. There we go. Tatavian ship right there. And this is Quinlan, and he's in another hangar. And so basically he looks like he fires into the hangar and escapes or something. That's what I'm getting here as well. But this is one thing that they have to you know, get control of, I guess you could say. And then we go back to Obi-Wan. So we're going back and forth from Quinlan Vos and Obi-Wan in this one here in 71 or 70. And so we go back to Obi-Wan and Ventress, and they're still, you know, talking their crap to each other. And so she keeps on threatening Kenobi, saying he would have to meet with. So basically, she wants to capture him. She sees him as a prize for Count Dooku for her master, and but she also says, you know, well, you know, first you're going to have to deal with Grievous. So you know, we have Grievous being spoken of now in the comic here, and you know, of course, Obi-Wan puts on a fight. And then we have Score here as well, joining in. The game ends now. So basically, he wants to get Obi-Wan captured or dead and get out of there, what have you. Of course, we know between the dark acolytes of Dooku's that they're always fighting to be noticed by him and be, you know, basically his number one, I guess you could say. And so they engage in their fight, of course. And we see Kenobi knocks Ventress off the Rancor. So they're fighting. She's still kind of like on the Rancor, and he knocks her off. He gets a clean little kick to the face. So there we go. And then basically he's still on the Rancor, and he feels pity for it because she, you know, she manipulated the Rancor through the dark side. And so basically he says, he apologized to it, saying that the Rancor has been tainted by the dark side and that he's going to have to kill it. And so he does. He kills the poor Rancor because I guess the influence that she has on it basically tainted it. And there's no other way for it to, I guess, live civilly. And so he has to kill the poor thing. I was like very sad about that. I mean, it's a Rancor, yes, but that's friggin' sad. Yeah. Okay. And then, of course, they're still dueling here. And Kenobi counters Ventress, saying or basically talking of how Dooku would be ashamed of her, except, you know. So he's using that mind manipulation again, and that's the word I was looking for earlier, mind manipulation as well, basically saying how Dooku would be ashamed of her, and basically they have the same lineage that, you know, Dooku trained his master, and that she's not acting in accordance to, you know, their lineage, I guess you can say. And then Score jumps in, and Score, you know, interferes, and basically he tells Ventress that Kenobi is her distraction, her distraction. And what's interesting is that, you know, she has a score to settle with him because, you know, last time we seen them together, he escapes and takes her master's lightsaber and, you know, all that. And so that's what she's acting on. And he's like, you know, just leave him alone. You know, he's a distraction, you know, I'll get him kind of deal. And so he comes in and interacts here. And then we jump back to Quinlan here. And Quinlan shows up. And, you know, they find Score, and Score's like basically, Quinlan's like basically, he's telling Score, if you're going to kill something, Score, kill it. And then it looks like he shoots a ship or near where Score is at. So basically Quinlan comes to save the day, and solidifies how Kenobi feels about him as well. And Quinlan, they escape, but the thing is that Ventress puts a tracking device on the ship. And so she's like, well, they left, but the thing is that I could track the ship now. So wherever they go, we can find them. And so I thought that was very interesting as well. Mind you, in the classical Star Wars, there is proper tracking devices compared to what we have seen already in the new lore. And these tracking devices actually work and make sense compared to what we see with fobs and stuff like that. So I'm going to go ahead and check the chat here. And thank you so much. Sub to Stig Kenobi's channel. Yes, I hope he's doing well again. Let's see here. No response. He is in dreamland. He's snoozing well, so you guys can go tease him saying he slept through coffee chat. He needs coffee. And send them all kinds of coffee with different flavors, like mocha coffees and stuff on his Twitter. Do it. Say, here you go. Here's some coffee for you. So here's some coffee for you so that next time you're awake. since he thinks like flavored coffee's appalling. So please do that. Oh, goodness. All right. So let's move on. Let's see here. Anything else I want to cover on this page? No. And I've been enjoying the artwork here again. You guys know that I'm getting my art degree, and I love, looking at different art styles, and now especially comics and stuff. And there'll be some coming up that the artwork I'm like, we need to use the stories because it keeps in tandem with the storyline here. But the artwork in there, I mean, I'm looking at it and I'm like, even for Kenobi, oh my God, it's messy. But we will get to, when we get to that, I'll discuss it some more. All right. So we have here, they escape, here, and basically they have their talk about, if Quinlan is still, intentions are still good according to, the light versus dark and stuff. And Quinlan wants to shoot the ship down, and Kenobi's like, no, we don't do that kind of deal. And Quinlan fights that urge, I guess that dark side urge for fighting it or shooting it down, and finally gives in, saying, okay, I agree. And so they have a little, little thing about Kenobi saying that he's gone through his second or third ship in this mission here. And, then, Quinlan's like smirks and kind of says, well, at least you don't have an attachment for them, so kind of just joking around about that. And then now we are on, sometime later above Rendili. And, of course, there's a little bit of, stuff going on there. And we have Anakin Skywalker, who, again, if you guys missed last coffee chat, he is already now a Jedi Knight. And if you guys, I don't have my camera on, but I have my cat climbing behind me and on my shoulder. This is weird. It's my baby one, my baby kitty. And she's going to go. Let's see here. And she's gone. All right. Should have had my camera on. That would have been amusing for you guys. Yeah, so he now is a Jedi Knight. And so he's watching the holo vid of, Plo Koon and them being hostage, and, and the negotiations with that, what's going on there. And basically, Yago is saying, like, if you don't, comply with us, we're going to kill him. And basically, as Jedi, they're like, we will mourn him and stuff, but, we know this would be a possibility that we're going to lose life and what have you. And even Plo Koon says that if you kill me, I'm ready. I'm okay with dying. So this is, this is pointless, basically. And so they have their negotiations here. And they set it to, like, if you don't comply, we're going to have to come in and, disarm your fleet, what have you. And then, and Anakin, of course, true to nature, and we see this development throughout his Jedi career, I guess you can say, is that he doesn't want to lose anyone. He doesn't want to lose people. He doesn't want to lose anyone. So he basically recognizes the ship as being a Mandalorian design. And he also sees that he can go in and basically disable or cripple the astro navigation systems. And they're telling him you can't do that because you know how heavily armed the ship is, that it's a suicide mission. And he basically insists that he can do that, that he's learned flying tricks and everything from, you know, from his career, basically being a Jedi and being a pilot as well. And also too, that his starfighter, he basically souped up, I guess you can say. And so it's more quick, and with his skill and stuff like that, he could fly in there and accomplish that mission. And then we have Obi-Wan and Quinlan Vos showing up, and we have Tin that basically says, you know, I'm trying to stop Anakin, and you know, Obi-Wan's basically saying, you know, I heard everything, and yeah, it's pointless, Anakin. This is a suicide mission. But Anakin still insists because he doesn't want to lose anybody. He doesn't want to lose anybody. Let's see here. I'm gonna come back to chat, check on you guys. All right, and so I have 9 people here, so it's kind of quiet this morning, you guys. Go ahead and please share the stream and let everybody know that we are live as well. And it looks like, yeah, I did share the stream earlier that we were going live, so go ahead. And if you guys have anything to say with regarding what I'm sharing with the comics, you know, share in the comments, and I'll go over that. All right, and press the like button. Yes. All right. Let's go back to the page. And so they're discussing a little further about Qui-Gon and not Qui-Gon, geez, Quinlan. I know I mentioned Qui-Gon earlier. About, you know, where he is surrendering himself. And then Tin is basically asking him to surrender his lightsaber. And at first he's like, what if I don't? And then he basically says that's not up for debate. So he does surrender himself in true nature to what him and Obi-Wan were talking about. And this is very interesting because, you know, we later on when we get through these 2 comics, you're going to find out a little bit more about his discussion regarding the mission that they put him on, the council put him on and stuff. And it's kind of heartbreaking. And I want to know, like, you know, like if Quinlan Vos is your guys' favorite character, share that in the comments here. You know, I find him very, very fascinating. You know, he basically is a Jedi Sentinel in the lore, if you look that up. So that's very interesting right there. And then again, you know, we have, you know, the attacks going on above Rendili, and the Separatist fleet shows up. And I forgot to mention that earlier, that they were on their way. They were on their way when they were discussing the negotiations with the hostages and stuff. So yeah, so they show up. And of course, Tin basically sets out his commands, and that he's going to be, you know, commanding from his starfighter. So they get out there, and basically Anakin realizes here, hey, I'm a knight. I don't need their permission anymore to do what I feel, you know, I need to do. And so we have that realization that he's like, yeah, I don't have to, you know, really obey because I'm a knight as well. I'm not a Padawan anymore, even though in a sense he still has to, you know, cooperate with the mission and stuff like that. So I thought that was very interesting. You know, we get a little bit of development here as well. And thank you so much for just tweeting it out. Thank you so much. And zoom in, please, Voss. Okay, I will. I'll go back and zoom it in. You know, since we, you know, we need the woman representation here, huh? All right, so I'm gonna go back and I'll zoom it in for you. All right. And there we have Voss there. He's a very interesting character, very, you know, like roughneck kind of character, I guess you can say, if you know what that term means. Warrior, all that. And he's very pleasing to the eye too for us women here. So just like we have the female characters for the men, we have the male characters for the women. So there we go. All right. So again, the realization from Anakin that he's a knight now, and so he doesn't have to follow his master's, commands and stuff, because he's not in training no more in the sense as a Padawan. They're always learning. His next step is master, but we all know what happens with that. So let's see here. All right. And Soul Assassin, yes. Yep. I know we don't have Stig here. Zoom in, zoom in. Let's see here. All right. I'm just checking back and forth my messages on Twitter to make sure that Stig's not messaging me here. All right. Let's move on. And if anybody's joining right now, just share what you're enjoying, your beverage of the morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world. All right. Let's see here. And so, of course, we have the battle going on in Sue. And what down here in this little area with the starfighters fighting, the fleet fighting here, it kind of reminds me of listening to A New Hope and so on with, the different like Blue Leader and all of that, like Green 2 and all that. So kind of, we're in remnants of A New Hope, I guess you can say, and watching that when they're going to attack the Death Star. And, what's crazy is that when I seen these separatist ships here, I was like, wow, these are like little tiny mini Death Stars in a sense, because they're round. And so I don't know if any of you guys ever correlated that with the separatist ships here or the Federation ships here. The Federalists or whatever. Sorry if I got that wrong. That they're round too, they're just like little tiny mini Death Stars in a sense. So it kind of makes sense in a way, I guess, or like maybe I can use that adage like, it kind of rhymes to what's coming up or makes sense to what's coming up when we see the Death Star in the original trilogy. So that was my little like aha. And it didn't really dawn on me until just recently reading these comics that these are like little tiny mini Death Stars, really little tiny ones, little ships, Death Star ships, because they're circular, they're round. So I thought that was interesting as well. And then so we have Anakin here. That's not Anakin, that's Iago. But basically we have the fighting going on, and right now the Rendili ships and the Separatist ships are really, getting the best of the Republic and the Jedi right now. And Iago says, all Rendili ships, focus your fire on the approaching Republic ship. So basically, there's a lot of chaos going on here. And but we know the tides may turn. Let me go ahead and check the chat. Let's see here. All right. And again, if you want me to zoom on anything or if you have anything else to add, I'm bouncing back and forth between screens here. I'm flying solo today. Solo. All right. Let's see here. Let's go back. All right. And then so they're attacking the ship. And Quinlan is in there, and now he surrendered, so he's basically in the cell here, and they get a hit, which makes the system go down, and he's able to get out, and so he's out, but he feels that he needs to be a part of the action, so he goes and gets hops in a ship here, so basically throw everything into the shield. So they're basically trying to, not be destroyed, I guess you could say in layman's terms. All right. And then, they're basically, trying to keep everything going in there. They're fighting, they have electrical fire because they got hit. Quinlan takes off in a starfighter. And he goes and joins the fight. There's nothing they can do. Now, I think that one of these officers, let me see here. I know that we have Dodonna as one of the officers in the series as well. So I thought it was very interesting. And I haven't really fully recognized his face on who's who. So, but so he goes and joins, and Anakin's like, you know, how'd you get out, Quinlan? And he's like, oh, never mind, you know, as long as you're here with us, whatever. And so basically, they tell him where he needs to be and stuff, and it helps Anakin further with his mission that he planned to do on disabling the navigation, I forgot the name of it already, but yeah, so just to destroy that so that they don't jump into hyperspace and flee and stuff like that, and it cripples the ship, so crippling the navigation system. And so Quinlan joins in here, and they basically get inside which one is it? One of the ships here on the rescue mission. So they're inside there where Yago and them are on the Rendili ship there. And so they get in between the guns here. And, you know, they have a little joke here about, Obi-Wan saying basically that that he thought flying with Anakin was crazy. And, you know, because Quinlan's like, we're going to go through here and make it through into the hangar bay here between the gunships or the gunners here. And, you know, Obi-Wan, you know, we know he doesn't like flying. You know, that's something. He's a great pilot, but he doesn't like, you know, flying. And so they make it through here. They crash land. There's starfighters here inside the hangar. And of course, they, you know, meet opposition right away. Let's see here. And basically, and I stated this before, well, that's the second starfighter I've lost as in many days. And then Quinlan basically says, good thing you didn't form attachment to them. And then he's like, be quiet. So we have this little friendly banter going on here, teasing and stuff like that. And so they make their way through the ship. And then we have a scene here where, you know, of course, we have Plo Koon in kind of in a meditative state. They're realizing that Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan has made it through into the ship here, and basically he says, prepare yourselves and for death, Master Koon, and he says no, for rescue. So basically he's telling them that, you know, they're being defeated, that that there's no way out, I guess you could say. Let me see who's in the chat. All right. And I see Raging Rhino is in. Hey, hi there. I'm flying solo today. I think Stig is hibernating right now, getting his beauty sleep. And so again, I encourage everybody to send Stig a coffee on Twitter, a picture of a flavored coffee. Tell him good morning, sunshine, or something. And then hello, chat. Hey, chat. Let's see here. And then I'm glad I'm going to go back and watch Rhino stream. I have family home, so I haven't had a chance to really watch your stream. Usually I wake up in the morning, and as I'm getting myself ready and stuff, I watch probably the last half of your stream, Raging Rhino, because of the time frame I'm in, you know. So I'm in California, Pacific Standard Time, so I catch probably the middle last part of your stream usually, and then I go back and rewatch. So you guys go watch it. It's always fun. All right. Soul Assassin comic, Quinlan is far superior than animated surfer version. I agree. I've always loved his character pre and are within the Clone Wars, the classical Clone Wars, not Filoni's. Sorry, but I don't agree with the direction they took him at all. They basically ruined this this rugged, deep, conflicted character that still had a heart of gold, if you sense that. You know, he always wanted to do right, and you could even feel it when he's talking about, when later on when we get to that comic, when he's talking about, you know, his mission to the council. And so he's a very well fleshed out, interesting character that, you know, that probably does pull at your heartstrings in a sense. you know, and if you guys haven't read about him yet in these comics, I suggest you go get them. This is what I do. This is why I do it, to get you guys interested in these comics, whether, you know, talking about them or talking about them on Twitter, on my channel, what have you, to read more about, these characters that were developed so well in George Lucas's era of, Star Wars. And Quinlan is a very, very interesting character, and, deep brooding type character, and, warrior like, does have a heart of gold, just, may not look like it, but you can't judge a character by their cover either. And so that's why I like him so much as well. The Penguin, I don't know why they made him appear very carefree and chill, even though that was not how the original Quinlan was. No, he was always wanting to help if he could. If he was given a mission, as we see here, he takes it seriously. And if he gets involved with, like friendships and stuff, he is committed as that friend. So even with Kenobi, how he reacts to him in the Clone Wars doesn't make sense either, because we see Kenobi, like, he's listening to the Force, he's listening to his intuition about Quinlan, and he basically knows that Quinlan, is doing right by himself, or by the mission, and what they're doing right now in the comic number 70. He doesn't believe that Quinlan is gone, like far gone to the dark side, and he trusts him and stuff. And so to see how he interacts with him in the Clone Wars is like, it's off. I think it's kind of like sad in a sense, and I'm just gonna say this word, disgusting, and how they made his character into this very like night and day type thing. Like, we see him, like I said, he's brooding in these comics, and then you go to the Clone Wars and it's like daytime, like, hey, hello, what's up, dude? It's freaking ridiculous. It's cringy as hell to see him, how he talks, like, like California, like surfer slang, like, what's up? Like, what, kind of deal. And it's disgusting, and it doesn't even fit, especially if you grew up, or if you really got into his character in these series and some of the books. It does not make any freaking sense whatsoever. All right, so there's my little rant there. Let's go back. All right. And here we go. So, basically we have Anakin, and he's completing his mission. He realizes again that he is a Jedi Knight, that he doesn't necessarily have to listen, as a Padawan does. And so he's taking, his obligations. And I have a cat fight going on back here. Go on, baby. Go. You hear that, you guys? I am cat sitting for my daughter. And so I have a cat fight going on here. Go on. And that's how she feels too. She feels awful about how Quinlan's Voss's character was made in the Clone Wars. All right, so back to Anakin. So if you guys, are interested in like seeing Anakin's character development, like his realization of how he can be as a knight versus Padawan, and the freedom he feels with being a knight, this is it right here. It gives him more power. In a sense, we always known that he craves a little power, that he wants to be the best of everything, kind of an ego thing, and that Palpatine kind of feeds that to manipulate him, to turn him to the dark side. So, we kind of see that in a sense here, because he's got freedom and more power, and that's what he craves. But also, he does have a heart of gold as well, and that he doesn't want any lives lost either. So we have him right here. He is going on it to sabotage their the hyperdrive and system here. And so he basically gets to accomplish it because Voss joined in as well. So Voss was another factor that they haven't ruled in that was able to help him, accomplish his task that he was describing earlier. And then so we go on to the second comic, and I really like this picture of Anakin. I really like this cover art because you could see, the difference in him. And, this is close to Revenge of the Sith. So we see Anakin start turning more significantly. We start seeing those hints of dark side. And pre the Clone Wars, he did get knighted, like leading up close to Revenge of the Sith. Whereas the Clone Wars, he's knighted like shortly or like just right after the Attack of the Clones, which does not make sense. Does not make sense. And let me know what you guys think about that in the chat there. All right, let's see here. Okay. So we have David Chilson. Hey, good afternoon or morning, folks. Good morning, good afternoon here. And I hope that you are enjoying this morning's coffee chat and this discussion we're having. And please share in the comments, what do you think about, seeing Anakin's development from, when he was knighted and starting to see those hints of dark side in him now, and the realization of, power that he has, and we do know that Palpatine has been, basically manipulating him from the start, and feeding him things that he wants to hear, like, acceptance and, family kind of deal, because we know that he was taken from his mom, not taken like forcefully, but he wanted to go, but then, he has those repercussions of attachments. Rants and cat fights, where else but Star Wars stream? Yes. She comes in and starts growling at my cat. Rawr. Yeah, there we go. Never a dull moment here. Even if Stig's not here, there's never a dull moment. We always have something going on, some kind of entertainment going on. And again, if I would have had my camera on for, reading the comic to you guys and discussing it, you would have seen one cat climbing up on my back and stuff. They haven't done that either until now. Okay, Billy Russo. Azure Angel 2 sadly only appears in this comic, if I remember correctly, beyond the Clone Wars. Let's see here. This art is magnificent. The eyes. Yes, we have, we have the sun. It's not the twin sun because that's not where he's at. But, it's just like, you have the sunset, I'm guessing, the colors of like fire, you have, the yellow, the oranges, the red. He is brooding there. There's a lot going on here, and this cover will make sense to what's going on in the comic. So we're going to see some dark side stuff going on with Anakin. And hello, good morning, sunshine. I hope you had a nice beauty sleep.
Well, I forgot you guys have set the clock already, so I thought.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I thought it started in 15 minutes.
Oh, okay. And here I'm teasing. So we got through the first comic. I got through the first comic. We're going on to this one here.
Okay.
So I was teasing. I'm like, I think Stig is still asleep. And then I'm like, everybody tweet coffee to him on Twitter, like different flavors of coffee, and tell him, here you go. You need this to wake up.
Oh, shit. My Twitter is probably full of burgers and shit now.
Yeah. So, yeah. And, so I was joking around that you needed your beauty sleep, and Matt Wilkins says that you need more than just that. So,
no, that bastard.
So it was fun. Got through the first comic. So basically they rescued Plo Koon and them, and Anakin basically got to disable the hyperdrives and stuff. So he got to complete that mission. But what was interesting, and where we're recapping on this before we move on, is that, Anakin realizes, since I'm a knight, I really don't have to listen like I did as a Padawan, so I can do what I basically want. So we see that going on. So that's one of his like aha moments in the comics there. And, of course, Quinlan, my cats are raising hell. So I didn't have my camera on. I just turned it off, and my cat climbs up my back and onto my shoulder. And then right before you come on, the cats in the house decided they wanted to fight. Yeah. So never a dull moment here. So
actually, in my defense, we haven't done a coffee chat since you set the clock.
Okay. No, you're fine. I was just a tease. I thought maybe you went to sleep.
Yeah, I know. I was just thinking about this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, how did this happen?
And I was like, hello, anybody out there in your chat? That song, hello, is anybody out there? Kind of deal. But yeah. Yeah, so we got through the first one here, and you missed the action with Ventress, chasing not Anakin, Obi-Wan on the Rancor and stuff, and how Obi-Wan had to kill the Rancor because
I remember doing that.
You're like, I remember doing that. That's what you were doing, right? You were doing that before you came here.
No, I was napping.
Yeah, I know. I'm playing. Yeah, so if you get any tweets with coffee, flavored coffee, that's what's going on. I shouldn't have said anything and let it surprise you. So we were talking major shit. No, we weren't. We were just having fun, teasing and stuff. But yeah, I was saying that how amazing these comics art style is and stuff, and like this cover right here is hinting to what's going to happen a little bit later on in this next comic that we're going to review. So, and we were talking, and I was discussing about how Anakin in the original comics and Clone Wars and stuff, he gets knighted just right before, not right before, but before Return or Revenge of the Sith. Whereas the Clone Wars, he gets knighted right after or soon after Attack of the Clones, which doesn't make sense. So, yeah.
For fuck's sake.
What?
Someone did. Some bitch tweeted out some caramel coffee coconut. That's disgusting. And it's in an ice cube tray.
I like evil laughing right now. Okay.
I need to drink some Coca-Cola to get the gag reflex gone.
Soul Assassin, episode 7, The Stig Awakens.
Mm-hmm.
So this has been a pretty interesting stream, talking about the comics, cats fighting, cats climbing up my shoulders, Stig not realizing the time or forgetting about the time change, which I totally understand. Me telling everybody that you're, getting your beauty sleep and to send you flavored coffees on Twitter.
Yeah, I'm still not pretty, but I got some sleep at least.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. All right. So we have Kiefer. I love all the Voss stories at the end of Republic. His ending was perfect. And we were discussing too about Voss's character, like how magnificent it is, like because he's a brooding, dark, deep character with a heart of gold, basically, versus the California surfer dude in the Clone Wars.
Yeah, that was when I saw that, I was like, okay, cool. Maybe this episode will be good because Quinlan Voss. And then I was like, what the shit is this?
Yeah.
It sounded like someone Cheech and Chong runnings doing one of the movies, right?
Yeah. Right. It's like all you need is like where's the smoke, kind of deal, puff pass kind of deal. Yeah. It is cringy. All right. So Miss Martin uses catapherence. There we go. Catapherence.
Yeah, that would freak me out.
Yes, it would freak you out, or me out. Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna go check out later who sent you some flavored coffee on Twitter. I thought that was kind of funny.
Well, you can tell in the chat who it was now.
Huh. Oh, it's Miss Martin Muses. It's Teresa.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, bitch.
Seriously, that was a nasty gif. Good grief.
Good grief. I haven't heard that used in a while. All right, let's see here. And then again, you guys, I'm in second place in the top 10. So please go vote. And then, so let's get going. So I know that it's been like a quick minute since you read Dreadnaughts of Rendili 70, which is part 2. So did you want to recap on anything that you liked about it before we move on to part 3, Stig, from what you remember?
I just think it's awesome that Ventress was riding a Rancor.
Yeah.
You don't really see bald women ride monsters that often.
You want me to go back to that image real quick?
No.
Oh, okay. I
No.
thought maybe you wanted to see it. I didn't really zoom in on any females, but we did zoom in on Quinlan Voss. I had that.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, because women need their eye candy too, just like the men do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see here. All right. The only missed opportunity in Republic was killing off Mundi's family too soon. All right. Let's see here. Let's get to that. Let's move on then. All right. So we have part 3 here of the 3-part, little series here of the comics here. And we have this brooding Anakin right here. And again, you'll find out why he looks this way later on. I'm not going to give spoilers.
It's because he's emo.
It's because he's emo.
Mm-hmm. Anakin is emo.
In a sense, but it's not a cringy type because it's more or less like he's being manipulated. It's not like what they did with their stupid ass character in a new Star Wars. He has no reason to be emo. This Anakin does. He's conflicted. He has he's part of the Jedi Order, and so he has to comply with them, but then he has Palpatine on his other side manipulating him, and and there's a lot of ego play going on here and stuff like that. So there's a huge reason why compared to that other sorry ass emo character that they created.
That face Anakin has in that picture, that's how I look like at the store, only I need a shave.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just stare at the cashier like that.
You just stare at them like that? And what do they do? Do they
they tell me how much to pay and I pay it, then I leave.
Oh, okay. That's probably what all you guys look like in Norway, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's common?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So he goes and he's able to complete his mission here, on crippling their hyperspace drive navigation or whatever it's called. I said it earlier. Now I forget the hell.
Nav computer.
There we go. Something like that. It's like they didn't say nav computer, but it's like Nava hyperdrive system or something like that. But yeah. So, and I did tweeted about it last night. So that's on my Twitter now. And then so we have we come to they're inside the ship here and they're doing their rescue mission here. We have Obi-Wan and Quinlan taking charge here. Of course we have firing and everything here. And I think that's Yago right there. And we also have Plo Koon down here as well. And so they're taking control of the ship now. Well, they're pursuing that right there. So, and then we have, of course, there's fire. They're seeing a lot of fire. You could tell they're using the Force. Like, I like how the comics kind of give you an idea what they're doing with the Force, with like a halo around the hand or whatever, just to show. So I thought that was very interesting. Yeah. So, and Plo Koon didn't get a hit right here. He hit the, or did he?
No, it's where he deflects.
Yeah, okay, that's right. Because I was like,
basically,
he didn't get a hit right there.
Yeah, he's baseball batting the,
Yeah, that's what I thought. But I almost, at first, when I first read this, I was like, did he get hit? And I'm like, no, they had to have deflected it or something like that. So, and then, of course, they're firing. They want to keep control. Yago wants to still keep command and stuff like that. So, of course, they have that action going on. And then, and basically, he tells Yago, it's over, Yago. This has all gone wrong, and it's your fault. So basically, now there's blame going back and forth as always. And he turns around and shoots him in the arm. He's like, fuck you, bitch.
He shoots him in the face. He shot him in the arm. He shot him in the arm first.
Oh, let me see. Oh, right here. And then he goes and shoots him in the face or something like that.
Yeah. And then one of his own puts him down, right?
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah. And so what are you drinking? You're drinking cola, some Coca-Cola or something?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Not any coffee?
No. I was put off coffee after I saw that GIF. Good grief.
It's all fun and humor. You know that.
Hmm.
All right. So basically, he says, "Attention, Rendili Fleet. This is Captain Jace Dolan. I have resumed command." So basically, he's given orders. He's like, I'm in command now. We're going to go ahead and join in with the Republic against the Federation ships. And I was talking earlier about how these Federation ships look like mini Death Stars in a sense.
Yeah, it's foreshadowing
Mm-hmm.
a little bit, but well, they're different though, because it's basically the Federation ships are basically droid control hubs.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. But that was just like an aha moment for me. I'm like, oh, like even though they're different, like how their mechanics are different and everything, they're like a little bit of like, foreshadowing or something of, the huge Death Star,
Yeah, it's humanity versus technology.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So basically, Dallin gains control back of the Rendili fleet, and he takes over, and they now turn fire onto the Separatist ships there. And so again, we see that action going on, and we have Teen in his starfighter here. That finishes it. All units return to base. So basically, they're finished with their mission. They gain control back of the Rendili, the Dreadnaughts.
Yeah, he always looks like a villain, doesn't he?
Yeah, he has that brooding, villainous look, and then with his like his horn missing right there, like the tip of it right there, it just makes him look even more menacing, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And then we have that one. What's his species? He's a master too. That he looks like he's always smiling.
Kit Fisto.
There we go. I keep on forgetting his friggin' name. Kit Fisto. Yeah, he always looks like he has a smile on his face. So, yeah. And I guess it's their species, I guess. And so basically now they're discussing it. We did it in Master Kin. Yes, the Force was truly with you today. So they're discussing that as well. And they did mention the Katana fleet towards the end of the last comic, I believe. And I thought that was interesting because they're like, before Anakin, disabled the hyperdrive system, basically, they were trying to slave the ships up to jump together. And I think it was Yago saying, they're like, if we do that, then we're going to end up like the Katana fleet, when everybody gone mad when that happened and blah, 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 blah. So they kind of referred back to the Katana fleet.
Yeah, which is from this period. So, look, continuity.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I know I skipped over that earlier, but
that's a word I've not heard in a long time.
Yep. So basically, Anakin got to complete his mission here, and so now they're talking about Quinlan's fate again here. So Obi-Wan sticks up for him and basically says, he didn't leave. He escaped from his prison from the cell, but he came and joined us. He didn't flee. He didn't leave. And so Tin basically says, well, perhaps, he's in the good now, basically, but that's up for the council to decide. So Quinlan's still not out of the hot water when it comes to, the Jedi and stuff.
Yeah, and so since he's basically out of prison, they should celebrate.
Celebrate, huh? Well, they're trying. Kenobi wants to, but Tin's like, well, he still has to face the council, so there's no celebration yet. Sorry, kind of put a damper on that one, huh? No.
Yeah. Where's the Ewoks when you need them?
Right. And then so we go back to Ventress and Score. And of course, they're kind of abandoned because of, on the ship because, Quinlan and Obi-Wan escaped and, left the ship crippled and what have you. And lo and behold, we have General Grievous shows up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And this is when we kind of know it's nearing the end of the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Because Grievous shows up right before Revenge of the Sith, really.
Yeah. Exactly.
And there he is. You know
Mm-hmm.
what? I never liked Grievous
Okay.
as a character, but he is far more a threat in these comics than he ever was in the Filoni cartoon.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I forgot to mention in the last comic that, the Rendili fleet was thinking that Grievous was going to show up with the separatists there. And so they were expecting Grievous to show up, but he didn't. And you know why? Because he's not supposed to have any interaction with anybody like Kenobi or any of them until Revenge of the Sith. So keeping continuity still. And yeah,
Well, we know Anakin hadn't seen him.
yeah,
Kenobi could have.
yeah. But it's still my point is keeping continuity.
Yeah.
Yeah. And keeping him a brooding menace type of villain as well. And so he shows up and basically, he's like here to pick up Ventress and Score and take them back to Doku and stuff. And she still wants to capture Kenobi. So her mind's still, focusing on Kenobi as well.
She's
Because
like a crazy ex-girlfriend.
yeah, he has her master's lightsaber, and I mentioned in the past comic, basically, how they play their little mind games and stuff, and Kenobi was telling her, Doku, they're from the same lineage because Doku trained his master, blah blah blah, and that what she's doing would be frowned upon, and so he's trying to he's set planting those seeds, I guess you can say. And I think later on they have, something else happens between those two, but we're not going to get to that.
It's like she had a relationship with Kenobi, and then she left her lightsabers at his place, and he dumped her, and he's not giving the lightsabers back.
Damn Kenobi.
Yeah.
Playing those games. All right. So we have them now back on Coruscant at the main Jedi Temple there. And now they're going to discuss, basically what Anakin did. And then also Quinlan Vos and what's going on with him.
Yeah. And there we have, what's his name? Master Ranchis or something.
Mm-hmm.
I hate him. He's the dumbest Jedi ever. He looks High Republic dumb.
He looks like a friggin' Shih Tzu dog. You know how like those little type of like Asian dogs, how they grin with their teeth showing all the time?
Yeah, he looks like one of those dogs combined with a snake.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I know that it's like when they came to him, they ran out of ideas for species. And so like, let's flip a coin. What can we do? And we're like, we kind of want a dog, but then, we need a snake to represent the snakes as well.
Yeah. It's, I hate him.
Well, here he is.
I know.
All right. So here we go. So basically, they're back at the Jedi Temple on Coruscant. And so basically Anakin's just updating the council what he did, and they basically, praised him. Excellently done, Master Skywalker. And so I think that's interesting that he was able to do what he needed to do and that he got that praise, because Anakin, we know that he's always looking for recognition as well. So, and they basically said, you acted as a true Jedi, preserving life and winning the battle, a lesson worthy of to note. What we need to know is how this relates to Master Vos. And then Anakin says, Master Vos fought first. Master Rancis, or whatever his name is, Mr. Shih Tzu dog snake.
Let's just call him Master Shit.
Master Shit?
Yeah.
And then he said he laid his life on the line so that I could take my move. So basically he's saying that if he didn't show up, Vos didn't show up, then he probably wouldn't have been able to accomplish his mission. And so this is one thing that I wanted to really get into, because this is the discussion of Vos's fate and stuff like that. and basically sacrificing himself to make sure that the mission is accomplished, right? And very well, we have heard from everyone. The reason for Master Voss's seeming defection is now known. A stratagem meant to insinuate him into the enemy's camp. And so basically they start discussing his fate as well. And let's go here. Let's see here. And then so we move on. Wait, I want to go back and check this out. Voss, you claim have brought back the important information concerning Count Dooku's plans. So basically you're saying if you haven't fallen to the dark side, then maybe we can believe you. How can we trust you? And are these plans that you say you have, are you not deceiving us? So they still have that, that skepticism against him,
So this is the thing I don't like about the Jedi Council. Because eventually they'll know, right? So if he's deceiving them, he's not getting away.
No, he's not.
So it makes no sense that he's deceiving them at that point.
And the thing is, can't they sense that he's lying anyways? I mean, they have that, right?
Yeah, but if you're a Force user, you can shield your thoughts and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. If you're adept to that, then you can shield those and stuff. You can you make it like you can convince them that you're not lying through the Force.
Actually, you know that line where they said that the dark side clouds everything.
Yeah.
Which is what Palpatine is using to shield himself from the Jedi, right?
Yeah.
So they can't see it.
Yeah.
Same thing in Return of the Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
Because the dark side in Vader shields his intentions from Palpatine.
Correct.
Right before Vader attacks him.
Mm-hmm.
So the dark side clouds both ways.
Yeah.
Which is a little bit of another. There's quite a few of those, I guess, self-fulfilling prophecies or something in Star Wars.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's again continuity, right? We don't see it once and that's it. It's if it's a part of like a dark side ability, then we kind of see it throughout there in little pieces here and there, just for it to make sense what's going on in the PT and later on as well. So basically now we're back at the Senate building, and we do have Anakin talking with one of
it's Padme.
Well, yeah, that's not Padme right there.
No, that's her hench.
One of her henchwomen. Yeah, one of her guards. Yeah, and so basically, she's like, she's not here, but she did leave you a message. This hollow, and so he takes it, and then lo and behold, now before you showed up here, she did place a tracker device on Quinlan's ship. So when Quinlan and Obi-Wan left, they had a tracking device on the hull or something like that. And I was laughing and I'm like, this is when trackers made sense versus the fobs we have now, or that Star Wars has now. And so she's able to track them back to Coruscant. So here we have Ventress. She tracked him back to Coruscant. Mind you, she is witnessing what's going on with Anakin more than anything else. And so this leads up to something else I'm not going to talk about.
She's watching the building because that's where the others are. But then she spots Anakin, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, Wilkins in there.
What did he say?
His impotent little stabs.
Okay, I don't see it. Okay, Stig comes in and brings the conversation down. Oh. And then the John Ostrander stuff holds up. I liked his Agent of Empire minis, besides him knowing both Han and Leia before A New Hope.
Yeah, the Agents of the Empire stories are in the Empire Volume 6 omnibus. I actually read them not too long ago. They were awesome, by the way. I had never read them before. Yeah, that was brand new Star Wars for me, and I liked it. Really liked it.
Nice. You're like, yes. All right. Yeah. Hello, Lorena. Listening while she's driving. Hey, OG and Stig. Thank you for dropping in. Let's see here. Shit fist ho. Okay, so Stig left me something in the private chat, and I'm going to read it to you guys before we move on in the comic. It says, Indian Star Wars, disable the Navajo computer.
Yep. We've been having some. Well, you mentioned that because they were translating Star Wars to Native American or something.
Yeah, Dene, or the Navajo Nation, is basically A New Hope. They're translated into their language, which I find very interesting, and I want a copy of it now.
Yeah. So. Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hopi.
A New Hopi. Yeah, so that's interesting. So if you guys didn't know that, they are, the tribes are able to now translate it to keep the languages going, like Star Wars and stuff like that, which I really, really love. I think that's
cool. I hope they do it with all kinds of pop culture stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And Soul Assassin, Wilkins versus Stig. Place your bets, folks. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, well.
And then Snell, Messiah. No, Vader is in conflict. He's not hiding exactly what he feels. Both Vader and Palpy know the rule of two. No, he does hide. He does like mask his intentions towards his master, because you have to.
Yeah, because the conflict in Vader, which Luke is aware of, Palpy isn't really.
Yeah, because he senses the conflict, but he hides it he masks it from his master. So, exactly. So, very interesting.
Overconfidence from Palpatine at the moment, because he's, all about winning at that point.
Yeah,
exactly. And he is about to win.
Then
the Ewoks happen.
Yeah. There we go. So there she is. And she's spying. She gets to spy. She sees Anakin though. And then we have Voss there still at the temple here. Master, to gain Count Dooku's trust, I had to act like, so he's discussing, I had to act like a dark Jedi, but I can see how that may lose your trust. So basically he's telling them now. And I had no choice but to kill Caris. I was being tested. So basically he's breaking everything down, because if he blew his cover, then the mission's lost. So he had to act accordingly, which was very difficult for him to do, as, he's holding his head in shame. He's like regretting and he's recounting this to the council. And he says, the device that recorded what you saw relayed to the image back to Count Dooku. I had to play my part. And then Caris was responsible for the deaths of many Jedi, and he cheated Dooku. He would have been executed anyway, and that's one way or another. So basically, we are seeing him recount. And I really didn't write too much notes, because I wanted to get more into this, because it's really deep what he's discussing with the council.
Yeah, and it's a throwback to a lot of comics we've been through.
Yeah, exactly. And so he keeps recounting, basically then he talks about Senator Viento was a different matter. I am sorry for what happened with Karuk, but I was led to believe that Viento was the second, Sith. And so their thing was to find the Sith, right? And that's why he sent them in to find the Sith, find what's going on, who is, the Sith or the second Sith and what have you. And that was part of his mission. And, and then so we have Mace right here. The council considers this before and decided it was a ruse to show, to sow distrust within the Republic. But if Viento was a Sith, did you really think you could kill him by yourself? Why not come for help? And basically says that if he came for help, then his cover would have been lost, and that he thought that he can catch him, unaware, and accomplish it himself.
Yeah, tried to kill him in his sleep. Well, he did kill him in his sleep, kind of.
Yeah, exactly. And so we have Thom here, and they're all on holovids right now. You were prepared to die for this, Quinlan? And basically he said yes, he was. That he's willing to give his life if he needed. So basically his life on going to the dark side, because, that that's another thing, or give his life as in, his very physical being to it, as well. And then he couldn't, he had to do what Doku wanted because, he was testing him as well. And if he didn't pass the test, he could fail and be discovered as well. So that's the main gist of this. And he said, I've tried telling myself that I haven't crossed to the dark side, masters, that I've just been deeper in shadows, but I also have my doubts. So he still is, he's in conflict too as well. So this is like really emotional here. This is like something that, it's like you slowly read and you take it in, and you can see he has a heart of gold, and you can see that, he feels bad for what he had to do. And if he really was in the dark side right now, do you think he would be feeling bad? Who knows?
No.
So, yeah.
Well, probably, because I'm pretty sure Anakin feels bad, about what. Well, he actually does in Revenge of the Sith, because he's kind of when Padme arrives, he's kind of standing there, kind of almost crying.
Yeah, exactly. It's like they have that conflict in them because they know it's wrong, but they do it anyways.
Yeah, he's crying because apparently he left Grogu alive.
He's like, shit, that just ruined the whole Skywalker family lineage. We left him alive, and now we have Miss Mary Sue Palpatine coming up. All right. So here we go. So we have Anakin talking with Padme. Well, not talking, but, listening to her message. And we also have Ventress watching it too, I guess you could say.
No, she force pulls it from him.
Oh, okay. And that's
Which
what
is rude as shit. It's like someone grabbing your phone to read your text messages and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big no-no.
Yeah. Yeah. And so she does that.
Actually that's a Karen move.
A very big Karen move, huh? So we have Ventress going Karen style, huh?
Yep.
So she gets it from him, and now she's like, well, I'm gonna, I came here for Voss and Kenobi, but hey, your game too.
No.
Mm-hmm. So, and she basically crushes it with the Force. Look at that. So a little bit of like a love note from Padme to Anakin, and she crushes it in front of him.
Yeah, it's rude as hell.
And she also says, well, I want to kill her too. So she basically says, I'm going to kill what you love. And that's her as well. And so that pisses him off.
Yeah. As soon as you threaten Padme, he tends to lose it.
Yeah. And there we go.
Perfect. Yeah, it worked.
Yep, it worked. And she knew it was going to work. And you don't even have to read what they're saying to get the gist of this. He is pissed. He's going to, this is like another inkling of him going dark in a sense. Like the hints. And like I told the chat earlier in the first comic that we reviewed before you came in from your beauty sleep. No, I'm joking. That we do see a lot more hints of him going to the dark side. Like as we get closer to Revenge of the Sith. There's a lot more count to it.
His instinct, his first instinct quite often is to rage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he says, no, first I kill you. And then basically she calls him pitiful, and they pursue. And she goes, why am I wasting my time here with you? It shouldn't be that hard to find your beloved. The senator dies first. And that she's really goading him on. She's really, really just messing with him right now. Because he already has, well, I don't think he's had the visions yet of her dying yet. So, but he, that's his love. So. And then, so now we go back. So we're going back and forth from the scene in the council chambers to Anakin and Ventress. So basically, he still keeps on describing and talking about, what he had to go through and all of that with, with Doku and stuff and their mission as well. And then he also discusses one Jedi that he went up against during his mission, which was his first love.
Well, I don't think he went up against her. She was captured, and she was being tortured to death.
That's right.
He didn't do anything, and
he couldn't do anything because that would give him up.
Yeah, and he kind of had a crush on her when they were Padawans.
Yeah, and here's the image
That's
right here. Mm-hmm.
and it mirrors Anakin. Look how he
Mm-hmm.
reacts when someone he loves is being threatened.
Yeah.
And this is Voss experiencing pretty much the same thing, but he put the Jedi before his own needs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's they're mirroring each other.
Yeah. Yeah, and then so basically what he's regretting is, like he said, basically that was his first crush or love or whatever, and they did have a small relationship and they called it off. So that's what it says in this little box here. But because her the last part of her life before she dies is witnessing him as a dark Jedi, he feels really bad about that. That's how she had to see him before she died. So he's feeling guilt about that as well. So I was like, wow, that's deep too. And then we go back to the fight scene. So here they are. So, threaten his love, he's going to get after you. So this is why the order does not sanction continuing relationships, Master Voss. They're telling Voss.
Also, this is where Anakin gets one of his scars.
Mm-hmm, exactly. I've found it keeps your mind from what you're doing. It can make you reckless. And so they tell that to Voss. And here you go back to Anakin fighting, and he's being reckless right here because, she's threatening, Padme, and he's like lost it. So we have this mirroring going on here with what they're telling him in the council on what's going on with Anakin.
Yeah. And she manages to slash his face in a cheeky move.
Yep, she got cheeky with him, huh?
Yep.
Yep. And didn't he do it right here to her? Look at that. Or is that already a scar for her?
No.
On the bottom.
I don't know what that is, but she doesn't do it to her because.
Yeah. Yeah, I was wondering what that is. Maybe that's blood splatter or something like that from that.
I don't know.
I wasn't sure either. So, okay. Let's move on. So there we go. So how little you know of me. So basically she is, let's go back here. She says, the last time we fought, you got lucky. And that, I think their last fight was in Tartakovsky's Clone Wars, right?
Exactly, where she gave him the cut above the eye, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And then she goes, I am the master. You don't truly comprehend the power of the dark side of the force, but I will teach it to you, a last lesson before you die.
Yeah, and Ventress was at one point supposed to be in Revenge of the Sith, but it got abandoned. Too many villains, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah. And then he goes, little you know of me are my understandings of power. Again, I already talked about, his thing with power. And there came a point when I knew I'd fallen deeper into the dark side. So basically now that it's going back to Voss. So this pink box is referring back to Voss now. And so he's discussing it a little bit more. When I was ready to sacrifice Ayla for my mission, for failure, Dooku set Ventress and score after me. The rest, So basically he's recounting everything, and we went through all of this. And, the council's making their decisions here now. And so basically, Master Rancisis, may I speak? And so Kenobi's asking to speak. Of course, Master Kenobi. He goes, the question before us is, has Quinlan Voss gone to the dark side? The problem, how do we know? How do we know? Or how do we decide, and how do we know? And then Tien basically says, by his actions of which we are informed. And then he goes, Master Tien, at Rendili, you were prepared to destroy the Dreadnaughts, sacrifice every life within them, including Plo Koon's. And so he's going back to where Voss was ready to sacrifice himself if all necessary for the mission. So he's
and the Master Tien was ready to sacrifice everyone else.
Exactly.
So how is that different, right?
Exactly. And that's what I was going to get to, is like, this kind of mirrors their missions. It's still, having to sacrifice everything just to, get rid of the bad guys, I guess you can say, like then Plo Koon as well. And, so let's move on. I think we go back to Anakin and so we go back and forth through these scenes here. And then Master Voss had whose idea was this mission. So now he's like putting the salt into the master's wounds right here, in a sense, you know. And then we have they're fighting still. So we have them fighting. And that basically Thom says that was my wisdom. And so it's getting heated in the council chambers right now, as well as between Anakin and Ventress. And then basically Kenobi says, to win Dooku's confidence, you must have known Voss would be required to do things a Jedi would not ordinarily do. So now he's like pointing out the obvious. And then Mace goes, as Master Yoda warned, there was danger in becoming that which you pretend to be. The question before us is that what happened to Master Voss? So, they're coming to their decision now, as well as this fight between Ventress and Anakin is coming to a conclusion as well. So,
yeah, he's using the Force to send power cables at her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
which can be quite dangerous.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And we will see in the next coming up here pretty soon. And then and so we have here, so again, we have both scenes going on. It's like getting, very climatic between what's going on in the temple and the chambers and what's going on between Voss and Ventress. Or not Voss, Anakin and Ventress. I defer my master, Opal. I am too conflicted to judge clearly. So basically they're trying to figure out, are we, conflicted to judge Quinlan, blah, 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 for our actions as well. So we're seeing that revelation going on. Whereas with Anakin, he is, tying her up in the power cords here. And lo and behold,
it's what happens in those anime movies all the time.
Yeah. So the bod lady's getting electrocuted.
Yeah. Yeah, she's getting tied up and shocked.
Yeah, exactly. And so they're coming up with their decision here. And then they basically, ask him if they have anything else he wants to talk about. And he says, no, master. So here we go. We have Ventress being electrocuted, tied up and electrocuted by Anakin because she threatened Padme. So we're seeing this dark side going on right now. And he basically leaves her.
To be honest, if some Karen shows up and grabs your phone and reads your text messages and gets all pissy, you simply have to tie her up and shock her. Anakin did nothing wrong.
Okay, ladies and gents, that's what you do. You tie them up and shock them.
That's just the way it's got to be.
That's just the way it's got to be. Yeah, so.
She did it to herself.
Yeah. Basically, so she goes, so you got to kill me now, Skywalker? Just let me fall to my death. And I don't think so. That's not very Jedi thing to do. And he basically says, well, bye, Karen.
Yeah. And he drops her tied up and shocked into the bowels of Coruscant.
And then he looks, and then his glove, his mechanic hand is being shown here. So that's another foreshadowing right there. That's how I see it.
Yeah, it's the Vader part of him.
Exactly. It's the beginning of the Vader part of him. And so basically I don't know if he uses the Force to detach her from the electrical source there, but she falls down. He walks away, or it looks like he looks down there one more time, or is he walking away? I think he's walking away.
Yeah. He's looking down at her as she falls and then walks away.
There we go. That's what I figured. But yeah, so he's like, bye, Karen. You're done. I'm done with you.
He's standing there waiting for that distant splat sound.
Which will never come. I think this is the second time he threw her off the cliff and she hasn't died yet.
He should pee. That's what he should do, is pee off the bridge. Looking down.
Oh my God. That's such a guy thing. And I like how you giggle with that. Ha ha ha. I'm going to go take a look at the chat real quick, see what's going on here. So we have 13 of you guys. So go ahead and hit the like button and share. Let's see here. Anything else going on here? And then here, right here, Stig actually sleeps. Who knew? Laugh out loud.
No, it's a cross between sleep and deep meditation.
Okay.
Where I philosophically contemplate life.
Okay. That's deep. All right, Soul Assassin, amazing how well Tartakovsky's series fits in well with this canon. Yep.
That's because it was supposed to. It fits with the movie and the comics because all of it was canon.
Correct.
At that time.
Mm-hmm. Correct. And then now we go back to the temple here. Now that, what can you tell us of Count Dooku's plans? And so basically he, you know, reveals here what's going on. I don't know if I want to read all of this, but they're now deciding his fate here. So if you want to add anything to this, if you remember, Steve?
Well, he's basically being cleared of charges.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't, you know, he basically tells what he thinks he knows or what he knows or whatever. And basically they said, you know, you're of greater use with us, blah, 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 blah. So they bring him back into the fold. And let's move on. And then we have at the end here, the office of the Supreme Chancellor. And this is where you see a lot more manipulation. I'm like, oh my God, you know, I love these little scenes where it shows a little bit more manipulation from Palpatine to Anakin. It just solidifies everything that goes on in Revenge of the Sith as well. And so basically, you know, he tells him that he's done superb work. And the Senate has agreed that all home defense fleets must now become part of the Republic Navy. So we know that that the Republic didn't really have a navy, but each system had their own fleets and stuff. And now he is starting to centralize everything under the Republic. So, and so that's what we know about that now, because I think it was, what is it, Rogue Planet, where they say that they had a fleet or something like that. So it kind of contradicts a little bit with that. Here it kind of shows that each system has their own fleet, and now he wants to centralize everything into one navy under the Republic. So, you know, I don't know if this fixes that or not, but you know, there's, you know, like, again, it's not perfect, but they try to fix these little discrepancies as much as they can for everything to make sense. You know, of course, not, you know, there's not everything's perfect or whatever. So
also, you have a super chat.
Oh, I do.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Let's see here. Okay. Right on. Abu Nas at $10. Thank you so much. Sending love to my favorite EU lore master, lurking in the chat during my lunch, watching the show, enjoying how much fun you both are having here. The comics is better than the whole Disney trilogy. I agree. And the comics is better than the Filoni Clone Wars as well.
Well, to be fair, even the Ewoks animated show is better than the Disney trilogy.
True. Yeah. And you know, so thank you for the $10 super chat. I'm so thankful for it. Thank you so much. All right. So I think we're coming to a conclusion to this. Let's see here. All right. So let's move on. So basically, Palpatine starts feeding into Anakin's ego some more. And that's what you see. He feeds into his ego. And, you know, he says, these built from the Mandalorian design, not the most modern and very strong. So basically, they just talk about like rebuilding or reconstructing them into something better. And so this is the beginning of probably what we see in the fleet to come in, you know, in the future, I guess.
Basically, what he's been doing is telling Anakin, you know, you've done nothing wrong. Everything you've done is great, and you have the right ideas. And you know, it's weird that the Jedi Council doesn't see it that way.
Yeah,
you know, maybe they're holding you back, and blah blah blah. And it's basically, you know, gaslighting him, really.
Yeah. He's gaslighting them, and he's making it sound like the Order doesn't really care about him. The thing is like, you know, the reason why they don't make him master just yet, even though he's more powerful and stuff, is he's not mature. He doesn't have the maturity yet for it. You know, and stuff like that. And many people are like, you know, the council was so against Anakin for being master, or just Anakin in general. And if you really get behind the scenes and really dive into it, you don't become master just upon your talent and your power alone within the Force, right? You have to have maturity. You have to have you know, common sense in a way of, like, you know, our critical thinking and stuff. And Anakin is too, as we've seen, he goes off quick, as we've seen with Ventress and stuff. So he really doesn't fit that status just yet. He's immature. And that's why he's not made a master just yet. But he feels he should be a master because he's powerful. He's not getting the sense that he's not mature enough to be the master yet.
Actually, you know what? Palpatine is baiting him, right?
Yeah.
That means he's a master baiter.
Yeah, you have a point.
Literally stroking his ego.
Right. Right. And I'm going to read this here. Not all, just remember, Anakin, I will always be your true friend. There you go. And, you know, I think that the manipulation of Palpatine, or Anakin from Palpatine, is well written in these. Well written. You know, because Anakin wants to belong, you know, and Anakin wants people to notice him. Anakin does want power, you know, and Anakin does want this and that. And Palpatine sees that, and he basically manipulates him.
It's also kind of cool that Vader becomes Palpatine's right hand, basically.
Yeah.
Anakin's right hand is a machine.
Yeah. Sure. All right. All right, at the Jedi Temple. So he does have a little, I don't know what this is called. I never researched it.
Message fly droid. I don't like that one. I think it's too advanced for a droid. Does that make sense?
Uh-huh. Okay.
But it's like a little messenger droid. Okay.
Yeah. And so he sends this here to his love right here.
Oh, Soul Assassin wants you to zoom in on Colleen when she's sitting in the couch.
And she looks like she's all buzzed or stoned there or something like that. Look at her.
Yeah. There you go. You're welcome, Soul Assassin.
One for the guys, one for the gals, right?
And there's a Twi'lek too.
Yes.
The other picture. Look
and she's wearing thigh highs and booty shorts.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. So Colleen gets the messenger droid, and he says, Tau Count, his plan is working. His plan is working.
Mm-hmm.
Dun, dun, dun. Yep. So we shall see what happens with that. So does that mean that he's still on the dark side, or does that mean that he's still carrying his mission? We don't know. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Okay. Complete lie, Stig. The Ewok show is so good.
Well, it's entertaining.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he says it looks like the Beatles that Yuuzhan Vong had. Those were, kind of, because they never used, electronic. They didn't like artificial life forms.
You know what? If someone were doing surveillance on him, on that thing, it would be bugged, wouldn't
it? Yes, it would be bugged. It would be bugged. All right. So I think our next comic is this one.
Yeah.
Track Down with Ayla on the cover. Look at that.
Hello there.
Hello there. Yep. And so we'll be getting into this one, and I think the next one.
Spoiling the whole thing now.
I am not. They can't read it. So so we're getting into it. And this one's called Track Down Part 1. So I think we'll do Track Down, Part 1 and 2. So that's the next for Coffee Chat next week. So stay tuned. I'm excited.
Yeah, and we're running out of Clone Wars comics.
Yeah.
So, and I think we'll be doing the Rebellion omnibuses after those.
Mm-hmm.
So there's going to be, in a few weeks, there's going to be a lot of Luke, Han, Leia, and Wedge.
Yeah. Oh God, Wedge. I love Wedge.
Hmm. Yeah, so all you chicken lovers out there will be happy.
Again, she's human. She's not a chicken. She doesn't have chicken features. She's a humanoid. She's a near human.
That doesn't make it right.
Huh?
It doesn't make it right.
What? That she has feathers for hair?
Winnie the Pooh is a humanoid too.
No, he's not. He's a bear.
Yeah, but
no.
he behaves like a human. He's walking on.
No, he's legs. A bear. He doesn't have human features and stuff.
No, it's just not right.
You and your chicken stuff. And everybody is okay, so Teresa says, excellent. Yes, we'll be getting into another phase here pretty soon. So we're almost finished here. And then we have now Teresa sharing chicken head. Chicken truck. All right. Why don't you guys read the Dark Times comics?
I don't think all of them are out in an omnibus yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Stig has been keeping pretty much good track of, what's coming next and what hasn't been published yet in these collections.
Yeah, I've been reading them, and it seemed it was a little bit open-ended when I stopped and ran out of.
Mm-hmm. As if there's going to be another volume coming out, huh? Maybe.
Yeah.
Hopefully. And then Soul Assassin, he sends a chicken again. And then Abunas, awesome show, you two. Another winner. Thank you so much. I enjoy doing this. And I think depending on the time frame and stuff, like between this comic and the next one that we're going to do, Stig might take a little break, just like for maybe a week. So 1 coffee or 2 coffee chats, which I will go into like a question answer type, Star Wars type, coffee chat. So I'll let you know.
Well, if I take a little break, it's going to be between, before we start the Republic ones.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so I'll be doing that question answer, maybe character discussion. Maybe we'll focus on a character or whatever. So I'll let you know, but we still have some time before that happens. But if that happens, then, we'll discuss like characters. So maybe I'll have a panel or like a voting poll on what characters you guys want to discuss and stuff like that. Make it fun. All right. And then Lady Toriel, thank you so much. So thank you to all my members that are on here. Abu Nas, Miss Mark Muses, Lady Toriel. I do offer membership on here. You can become a member and use the nice little emojis that I created for. In fact, I do have an opening to make a new emoji. So I don't know which emoji I'm going to make. And then have a good one, Lady Toriel. Thank you, Soul Assassin, for your modding today. Abu Nas, have a wonderful afternoon all. Time to get back to work for me. All right, you have a good day at work, finishing up your work day as well. Yeah. So, you guys can become a member of the channel. There's super chats that are, you can do whatever. And all this helps me, continue to add to my collection of what I'm missing with my Star Wars collection, or even get some, action figures that I don't have yet. So it all goes to a good cause. So, and to keep this channel running. So I appreciate every single one of you. So Stig, do you have any conclusion, or you want to say anything about Dreadnaughts of Rendili, like a conclusion?
I thought it was a tremendously good storyline. I give it an 8 out of 10.
Okay. All right.
Lots of action, lots of fun, and a lot of depth, especially with the mirroring of Voss and Anakin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you can also tell Kenobi is slipping into the master role.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's, in a sense, teaching the council a lesson.
Mm-hmm.
in this comic. So
yeah.
Very good. And the artwork is fantastic. Like someone said in the chat, it's amazing how things tie together. especially these comics with the Tartakovsky stuff, and that ties into the movies incredibly well. And
and the
so
Katana Fleet with Thrawn trilogy.
Yeah, and you had future General Dodonna was in this.
Yep.
So it's
Yep.
all pretty damn cool.
It
and,
is.
This is what Star Wars fans were used to.
Mm-hmm.
And people go, yeah, this isn't canon. It is canon. It ties perfectly in.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of this were taken into account in the prequel movies.
Mm-hmm.
So no. If these comics never hayla, we wouldn't have had Ayla Secura. We wouldn't have had what's her name, Aura Singh.
Mm-hmm.
In the prequels, we Coruscant wouldn't have been a name if it wasn't for the EU. Same with Mandalorian.
Mm-hmm.
So
and even the Mandalorian look wouldn't have been available or wouldn't have happened without Boba Fett.
Yeah, and we have people George Lucas appointed to be in charge of the IP, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Says it was canon.
Mm-hmm.
And
I find it funny that people say, well, George never said it was canon or a part of his canon. We already know the hierarchy of canon. But my point is that it was only canon to the license department or what have you, whatever they throw out there. And I'm like, people, do you realize that George would not work against his own company and that he can't keep track of canon? That's why he hired these people to do it.
Yeah. And George was busy raising a family.
Mm-hmm.
He can't keep track of every comic and novel out there, which is why the Reader's Companion and the Encyclopedia and stuff, which is CMU's when it's writing the script for Revenge of the Sith.
Yep, exactly.
He has it on his desk in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
So when people say it's not canon and blah blah blah, they could just hand in their fan card, really, because it's beyond dumb at this point.
What, Stig? You're gatekeeping?
Yeah, I'm gatekeeping.
you elitist! How dare you?
Yeah.
How dare you act that way? You make people feel so insignificant because you have more knowledge and stuff.
Well, it's just what it boils down to is that people get pissed because others consumed the material they themselves claim to be a fan of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you know what the thing is like, all right, so if there's something I don't know and Stig knows, I'm like, okay, I want to learn more. So he mentions it, we discuss it, and I look further into it. That's as simple as it is. If there's something you don't know, embrace it, research it, get to know it. And then once you do, instead of denying it and getting all butthurt that you don't know and that you feel insignificant, take that knowledge in. The more you know, right? The more you know, the more knowledgeable you are. And so, and I think a fool basically is the one that will look at the evidence and look at the new, the teaching in front of you and ignore it and then cry around about it. That's a fool. Basically.
Well, Tolkien never said the Silmarillion was canon either, but it obviously is. But he never said it was canon. So, but by their logic, it isn't canon.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Exactly. And, George never used the word canon. He specifically talks about, his movie tier, which basically he's in charge of. But he does have people in charge of the whole continuity, which they all are canon to each other.
Yeah. So, canon wasn't even a word with Star Wars until 2003 or later.
Yeah, exactly. And I think
they just put a name on it.
Yeah. And I think one of the authors said that as well, that, their canon wasn't a thing until later, until the canon war, until the continuity wars or whatever within the company.
Yeah, because spin-off stuff for other franchises never took off the way Star Wars did.
Mm-hmm.
And if the EU or, well, it wasn't even called the EU until much later, but
Yeah.
which open airlock policy has a very good video about, actually.
Yeah.
Um, I recommend everyone watch that because he did great research. But you know, they simply didn't know what they had, and if the EU and the comics or whatever, the non-movie stuff, if that wasn't, if that was supposed to be something else, like a different universe or whatever, they would have marked it like that.
Yeah.
But they didn't. It just says Star Wars. And George Lucas himself in '83 said that the Star Wars story will continue in books and comics. That's what he said. That's a direct quote from him.
Yeah.
So he didn't say, a different take on Star Wars will continue. He said Star Wars, the Star Wars saga will continue in books and novels. And that's what they did.
Exactly.
And he also said in '83, because people ask, well, what happened to Luke Skywalker after Return of the Jedi? And he said Luke Skywalker became the greatest Jedi in the galaxy, and he trained a new generation of Jedi. Right?
Yeah.
That's what happens in the EU. And George Lucas even told the writers, you can't do this and this and this, because it will mess up possible future plans he has.
Yeah.
So,
he kept track of that, especially when it came to his main movie characters, are those that affected the story for those main characters that he's going to use. And even in Tribeca 2017, he basically says that, Anakin's grandchildren or Vader's grandchildren are in the novels.
Yeah. And he was going to use them in his sequel trilogy. But basically, he let the comics and the novels fill out the years between the movies. And he took that into account. With the prequels, you can see it clear as day. I mean, he's directly referencing at least 2 novels. And like I pointed out on Twitter a while ago, when he did the special editions of the OT, he put Dash Rendar's ship in there.
Yeah. And then if he didn't care about the EU and its continuity, then he wouldn't have said, no writers are allowed to write in the PT era as he was developing the movies. Once he, developed episode 1, then the writers had freedom to start writing because he already started opening that world building in that part of the timeline. But if he didn't care, then he wouldn't even say anything because, it wouldn't have mattered to him.
Yeah, and even the novelizations are EU, because they're not the movies; they're expanding on the movies. That's what the EU is. It expands.
Yeah.
But he had this is from Terry Brooks's. It's called "Sometimes the Magic Works," which is a book about writing, but also kind of like a memoir.
Yeah.
And there's a chapter there dedicated to when Terry Brooks wrote the Phantom Menace novelization. And Lucas told him to flesh out the rule of 2. And he talked to Brooks about the rule of 2 and, told him to put all that stuff in the book. And Terry Brooks was actually the one that came up with Darth Bane during that conversation. So George Lucas wanted Darth Bane to be part of the Star Wars universe, same as the rule of 2. And that's why we got those 3 novels about Darth Bane.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And so it's very much interesting. There's a lot that, even if George did approve some storylines, there are a lot of stories that he, helped with the plot or the character development or what have you. He was involved in his company in general. And, and if there's instances that he had to step away, he noted that he had to step away. He was very open about his company as much as he could, but people expected him to report everything he did. Like, people always go back to certain like interviews that, of him saying, oh, well, it's a parallel universe or, or what have you with his thoughts.
Yeah, he sees it as a parallel universe because he was asked about his writing.
Yeah.
George Lucas is a movie maker. He doesn't write novels.
Yeah.
That's what he was talking about, and they cut out the first part of that.
Yeah, they don't share, they cherry pick. But if you go look at like any of the quotes that anti-EU people share, you got to look up the whole quote because they cherry pick. And once you look up the whole quote, it kind of fleshes out everything he said, and it's not as what they think he said. So it's very misleading. Mm-hmm. Exactly. All right. So let's go ahead and start winding down now. Here we went on our little tangent here, and that's fine. So Stig, so let everybody know where they can find you or where you're going to be at this week. This week.
Nowhere.
Nowhere.
No, I'm going to be well, usually I'm on Sporking's channels on Mondays talking about the Game of Thrones books.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm on this channel on Thursdays. So that's pretty much it. Sometimes I'm on Geekblend's trivia night on Mondays. But other than that, I just I don't do that much YouTube anymore at all. So except for the odd guest appearance here and there or whatever.
Yeah.
You know. So I'm
fine.
Yeah, it's just you know, I used to be on YouTube like 2 or 3 times a day.
Wow.
At one point, and it just it started affecting my daily life. So
yeah,
had to cool back on it, and yeah, it's only so much pop culture news you can talk about, right?
Yeah, and then also too, it weighs in on your health and stuff. It's sitting there for long hours is not good for your health, but also like not having activity as well, or even affects your sleep pattern as well, and that's not healthy. So finding a healthy medium, like with myself running a channel, is something that needs to be done. But someone who is asked to be on a lot of channels for the knowledge and what have you, or or whatever, just your presence and stuff, it can take a toll on you as well. And I get it. That's why Stig and I were talking about between comics, when we go into the New Republic era or the Republic era, the New Republic era, the Rebellion era, he might take a break, and I respect that. He needs to enjoy his life outside of this electronic means of communicating with everybody, like YouTube and Twitter and stuff. I get that.
Yeah, it's I kind of realized it. Shit, I don't even know which year it was, but Captain Marvel came out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was on panels and stuff, and I realized I had been on different channels, and I had discussed the same Captain Marvel article for a combined 12 hours in 3 days, and I was like, I could have watched the extended Lord of the Rings instead, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of scary if you check the hours spent on YouTube, even if you're just watching, right?
Yeah.
Because the hours add up so fast and you don't even know it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you spend 12 hours watching YouTube stuff or being on YouTube a week, think about how many hours that is in a year and what you could have done, right? It's kind of spooky. And YouTube is social media.
I have cat fight going on in the background again.
Scratch that.
And then Soul Assassin, Twitter is a drain bin, slowly limiting my time on that monster. I agree. So Stig, he usually advertises what channel he's going to be on. So just if you follow him, you'll on Twitter, you'll know. I get that time is precious and so is health, and so you have to kind of evaluate. And me as a channel owner here, I have evaluated that for myself as well. And right now my priorities is more or less on getting my degree finished and some family stuff going on right now. And so that's why we're just doing lives right now. However, once that slows down, I'll have more lore videos and what have you. So again, you guys can find me here Thursday with Stig Coffee Chat. And then I haven't been on Toxic Femme lately because of my life, what's going on and now that being hectic. So I don't know where that's going yet or not. So, but also with Queen Council, there's a lot of stuff I kind of step back to pay attention to my, my last semester as well. So I don't know if I'll be on Queen's Council this week yet or not because it's spring break. I may be. Who knows? But other than that, just my channel right now and on Twitter. And on Twitter, I like to share a lot of Star Wars, George Lucas era of stuff. And we also, if you guys voted for the literature book review, Revan is the book that won. So if you're following along and you haven't read it, or if you read it and you want to revisit again, go ahead and get that book or pick up your book and start reading again. And within this next week, I should have a date nailed down for that literature review within 6 weeks from now. And so stay tuned for that. And
also in EU news, there's 3 comic omnibuses announced for the rest of the year so far. And on March 23rd, which was 2 days ago, the New Republic Volume 5 was released, and that one has all the Dark Empire comics in it. So that's available right now. On June 8th, there's the Old Republic Volume 4 is being released, which the main story is in Volume 1, 2, and 3. But this one will have a lot of stuff that ties into the MMO.
Okay.
So there's characters from the MMO will be in those.
Okay.
So you get a whole 400 something page omnibus with those. And then August 10th is the original Marvel Years Volume 5, which is the second last one they're going to do.
Okay.
That one has it goes up to Marvel 88 from 74 to 88, and then you also get the Return of the Jedi comic in it. So that's what's happening on the EU comic front.
All right.
Oh, and this summer you also get the hardcover of the main Old Republic series.
Yeah.
Which is being released in June, which is 1,300 pages in a gorgeous hardcover. So if you like the Zane Carrick storyline and all that, and it actually ties masterfully into the game too.
Yeah. Yes. And I know we campaigned that here when they were on sale. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, we're going to get going here. So thank you guys again for tuning in. And next week, we will have carry on in the Republic comic here. I think we have like maybe 2 or 3 more coffee chats with that one, and then moving on to the next one as well in the future. So thank you guys so much for tuning in and listening. And I am so glad everything's okay with you, Stig. And and I forget about our time change and all that.
Yeah,
so
I completely forgot about it because coffee chat usually starts at 6.
Yeah,
my time, but we haven't had one since you set the time, right?
Yeah.
So I just didn't think about it.
Yeah, and that's fine. And that was fun joking around at your expense with your beauty sleep and stuff. So again, and I don't apologize for people sending you out flavored coffee.
That was uncool. That wasn't right what Teresa did.
It's all just for shits and giggles, that. So thank you guys again for tuning in, and I appreciate you guys, every single one of you guys that come and listen to our the coffee chat and the comic review and all that. And I wish you guys a good Thursday, and may the force be with you.
Take care and be